जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೆಗೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
It's party time once again. Now, Friday evenings are about happy parties. Cricbuzz Live is always a happy party. Now, parties are often about music. And if that is the case, you've got to have a jukebox. I've got two jukeboxes in the cricket world. All I have to do is just press the right buttons and the analysis will come out pouring like it always does. Mr. Harsha Bhogle, the voice of cricket in India, and the man to his right.
For a minute, I thought he expects the music to come out. I was going to look there.
Well, I certainly won't be singing, and I've danced once in the IPL, and I'm not going to do that again. I saw last night on the 16th birthday, the anniversary of the IPL starting, all these cricketing great moment highlights, and the one highlight of me was doing the Gangnam Style. My music career, dancing career is off.
What if we play the Deccan Chargers anthem?
Oh, well, hang on. Now you got me interested. Now you've got me interested.
Maybe. Just maybe. Now, of course, Harsha Bhogle is someone who is the voice of reason, but the man to his right has been the find of the season on Cricbuzz Live English. Is there a squash ball that has made that happen?
A squash ball?
Equivalent of a squash
I haven't got a squash ball anywhere on my body at the moment. So.
Did you have a conversation with Bob Muleman before you started your Cricbuzz Live stint?
My old batting coach, old Bobby. What a legendary cricketing family out of Perth, for those that don't know. His father toured for Australia over to New Zealand, played one test, whether it was a test or not officially a test, bit debate, and then Bob and then the sons of Bob played state cricket for WA. So that was the backstory of my coach. But no, I feel like I'm settled in beautifully to a warm, welcoming environment. So I'm loving my time here and having a great deal of fun.
And the person who's on test is you. Because every time someone sat in that chair, they've ensured that he's very well fed.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we've got to do that. More than the anchoring bit, I've got to learn how to order food. I'm neither as good looking as Siamine or as talented as GK, but I'll try. I'll try my best. Let's put up the points table to find out where these two teams are. CSK and Lucknow. It's 3 versus 5. Lucknow 3 wins, 3 losses. Chennai have a chance to go closer to the Rajasthan Royals. We're almost at the halfway mark. It's match number 34 today of the league stage. 70 league games, remember. Do Lucknow give you the impression that they are a top 4 side?
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting one. I hadn't stopped to think. I was thinking more about the two teams tonight as opposed to the overall, whether they're top 4 individually. And I guess in what I see tonight, when I look down both team lists, I think CSK are the more dangerous, more likely team to progress. Not riding off Lucknow, and who knows, anything can happen. But maybe it's the heritage that comes with CSK and all the history that, we were talking before coming on air about their history. It's about 10 finals in 14 years of their participation. So that's pretty imposing, sort of intimidating history. So, and just a few of the names down on the yellow side as opposed to the Lucknow side. I just have them a bit more likely to progress further than Lucknow, but who knows?
Are Lucknow looking slightly undercooked, not quite there, or you reckon they have a lot more gas left in the tank for the second half of the season?
For 2 years, they surprised us.
Yep.
Have we ever looked at the start of an IPL at Lucknow and said, wow, this is the team that's going to win it? And let's go down, let's see, they look unbeatable. We've never said that about Lucknow, and they've qualified 2-2.
Yeah.
So there's something about that side there. There's a fair amount of continuity in the side, which, as we've seen over the years, is a big factor in the IPL. People know each other, people know what roles they can play. So like Gilly, I'm not writing them off. There isn't a buzz about Lucknow. There isn't an X factor. There isn't everyone talking, oh, Lucknow is in my top 4. But they do it. So you never write them off. Are there match winners in that side? Look, every team has match winners. Yeah. Every team has match winners. Are they struggling a little bit with their bowling? Maybe. Yeah. If they had both Mayank, Yadav, Mohsin Khan bowling really well, they could have had a lot more flexibility with their overseas players. That's not happening. So they're still struggling with their overseas fast bowler.
4 of the next 5 games are going to be at home. There's going to be a reverse fixture in Chennai. The next one is in Chennai, against Chennai once again. Then they come back home to play 3 home games. That's where it is. Now, they find themselves at a certain crossroad, Gilly. If things don't go right for them in this game and the next, then they're probably staring at the exit door or not.
Yeah, and look at those middle 3 games. They're obviously playing today. I'm just looking at the dates of it. The next 3 games after this come rapid fire. It's almost every other day. So that's 23, 27, 30. So, every team goes through a little period where they get maybe 5 or 6 days off, but there's also a period where you have 3 sort of almost on the hop. So, but the big question is today a home game?
It isn't. It never is when you're playing Chennai.
Exactly. That's going to be the story of this entire tournament, isn't it? For every team, when they're thinking like they slept at their own team hotel and they're familiar with it all and they're in the home change room, but is it a home game? That's the different dynamic in this
Also
IPL.
that it's a relatively new team, only 2 years into the IPL. So the fan base perhaps, I suppose, hasn't really developed into what it is for a Chennai home game or an MI home game. This is only their 3rd year, Harsha.
And so they haven't been able to build that aura yet.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Gujarat Titans. They won it in the first year. Yeah. They almost won it in the second. And yet we were not talking about them as champions. Yeah. So when you're new teams, it does take a little bit of time to build up. But I'd like to see that points table again to see what it holds for Lucknow.
Yeah.
Because if they win today, they actually stay where they are, I think, on the table. Just look what happens. Lucknow win today. They're on 8 points from 7 games, but they're 0.03 strike rate. They're not. Are they going to beat Chennai enough to go up above 0.5? Gee, that'll be one of the matches of the tournament if that happens.
Yep.
So if they win today, they stay where they are on 8 points. So what they will do though is they will move from that lower cohort to an upper cohort.
If they lose, they could go below Gujarat. If they lose badly today.
Yes. But what happens is they then, instead of moving into the top group of 8-pointers, they're still sitting with the 6-pointers.
Yep.
And they would have played an extra game. So they have to win this because the downside is significant, even if the upside is not. But they have to win 3 of their 4 home games, I think.
You're doing exactly what I remember telling teammates not to do.
Look at the points
at
table.
any stage of the tournament.
And if I was,
particularly before going into a game.
Correct.
If we can just get this one,
Yeah.
we go there. If we get don't worry about it until the final ball of the final qualification game.
If you're a player,
then have a look and see where you are. But it's human nature. And it's wonderful.
And if you're a player, you should not.
Should not be, but it's wonderful for us and spectators, isn't it, to look and speculate and have
He's a kind man. He's a kind man. He pulled back.
There are enough people, there are enough geeks out there wanting to remind players of all the little numbers that they shouldn't be thinking about. Right? So
Listen, I can't sit here and tell you what it is to win an IPL as captain. So I've got to find something to tell you and look at the points table.
Things are heating up though for the Lucknow Super Giants. They find themselves at a very tricky crossroad. And when things are heating up, you need some jaldi cooling advice. And so for their captain, their main man, their talisman, KL Rahul, from my experts, Gilly and Harsha, I need the coolest advice of the match powered by Crompton Air Coolers Jaldi Cooling. Now, they spoke about how you need not look at the points table, but I suppose if I'm on KL Rahul's side, if I'm in his corner, I'll remind him of what he did between 18 and 22. Half a decade of absolute domination with the bat for different teams, of course. Those 5 seasons, Gilly, just one season he had under 600. The other 4 seasons, 600 plus. The orange cap in 2020, if I remember correctly. But this year, he's looked a bit lost. There was conversations on whether he should bat in the middle order. He's decided to open, but things haven't looked good. What does he do?
What does he do? I don't know what he should do. He knows.
Because it's a toss-up between sort of aggregation and aggression.
Yeah.
All expression my young producers told me to use.
I will say is, if you look at the years in which he got all those runs, how many of those years were with Punjab Kings and how many of them were with Lucknow? One of those years was with Lucknow.
Yes, 22.
22 was with Lucknow.
Yep.
And the earlier years were all with Punjab.
Yep.
He got a lot of runs and his team didn't qualify. So finally, your runs have to make an impact in causing your team to qualify, irrespective of what support you're getting down the bottom. I have my own view on the orange cap. I think the orange cap is an outdated concept. You don't need the orange cap because the orange cap is not is not signifying how good you've been in the tournament. It's just saying how many runs you scored. It's not telling you how quickly you scored those runs. Because there is an anomaly with the orange cap. If you score a lot of runs at a certain strike rate, then you're not helping your side. So I don't mind a KL Rahul who comes out and gets quick 40s and gets them quickly.
Yep.
I don't mind that player at all, unless that side doesn't have people who can give the bulk to the team. And then he's got to play that. But anything under 140 today it's just given. You have to be 140 plus.
Is he looking a bit lost, Kelly? Is he thinking, if I need to go to the World Cup, I need to play in the middle order, but my franchise needs me to open? Should he open? Should he not? Is there a lot happening between the 2 years?
Oh, I think he should open, definitely. And you can see there he's got some starts. A couple of occasions he's getting into the well and truly into the ballpark of where the strike rate should be.
Yeah.
So it's like the game against Punjab there, 166, 15 off 9, so it's a small sample. But the Delhi game, so they're the games there where we're starting to go, okay, like you're saying, Harsha, that's impact. 39 off 22, 177. Yep. That's something that the rest of a team should be, if they're doing their job, be able to build on that. It takes 2 or 3 others to do that, and you're starting to really put together a good total. The orange cap one's an interesting one. I wonder, I should have done some research. I didn't know we'd get onto the topic, but how many, I guess the only concern about the orange cap is making sure that can they fit the winner's medal over the top of it? Correct. How many orange caps have had the winner's medal placed over the top of it? Yeah. And probably the same for the purple cap too. So, but that's digressing a little bit. The other point you make there, and I think it could be consistent, and it's probably going to be hard to shut it down for the rest of the tournament, the narrative has to get away from who's going on the World Cup, how do they get into the World Cup. He's got to work out, like every other player in this tournament, how am I going to win this tournament for my franchise? How am I going to win it tonight? So I know there's this overarching sort of shadow of World Cup, but win the IPL, be the best player you can be in winning that IPL, you'll be on the plane. If you're in the narrative of selection, you'll be on the plane.
If he was scoring at 160, average of 40 opening innings, would he be in the queue for the World Cup?
I think if he thinks of the World Cup, and that's happened in your career and mine and everybody's career, if we start thinking of events that are far in the future, then we are not living in the moment because we are letting the future affect our present. Yeah. So if he is thinking, if I do this and this and this and this, I might get into the World Cup side. What are you doing today though? Yeah. So if you are thinking, I do this program well, then I go there, then I go there, then I go there, and there I am at the World Cup final and everyone's saying, Manish, will you be here? Will you be here? Manish, you're the greatest anchor the world has ever seen. If you're starting to think there, then what are you doing today? Yeah. So I don't think he should worry about the World Cup at all. Yeah. Because, I mean, I think I've never been in that situation, so a lot of people could look at me and say, what on earth are you talking about? But I think selections should happen as a byproduct of what you've done. Totally. Yeah. So just focus on what you're doing, let the selection happen.
And we're the ones talking a lot about the World Cup, aren't we? So we've got to actually probably back off a fraction. Yeah. We don't know if KL Rahul or any of the players that we discuss every night are thinking ahead to that. Maybe they are, but maybe they are just focusing on the game at hand. And let's hope so, because they don't need to be distracted by anything outside other than focusing on being the best you can be for your franchise. Maybe
it's just a talking point on cricket shows. Maybe he is thinking about his game very differently. And I really hope that KL Rahul gets to watch this clip with Harsha Bhogle and Adam Gilchrist talking about
he probably knows it already.
What he needs.
He probably knows it already. He's a genuine, proper world-class cricketer, so he knows it.
And look, and also, what I will say is I don't think there's much truth in this discussion that he was planning on batting in the middle.
You always wanted to open?
Yep. And it was never sidetracking from that, certainly from the franchise and the
He's got inside information.
Coach's point.
He's got inside information. Sadly, we don't have access to his WhatsApp chats. Who knows what we'll find out. But that was it from Harsha Bhogle and KL Rahul on their coolest advice of the match, powered by Crompton Air Coolers. Jaldi cooling is what KL Rahul needs. In fact, we've been asking you guys and girls to send us your coolest advice. And we've got 2 winners, 2 lucky winners, who will get to see their names. What's the first one? Let's take a look what that advice is and who is it for. Pooran up the order. Say the good boys. Is it a group of people running an Instagram handle? Try different bowling combinations to find the most effective approach for the upcoming match. We've got one more. That one's on Elon Musk's X. Renu Pansari or Mahima says, give Marcus Stoinis more bowling opportunities. Use his medium pace in the middle overs. Also says, keep trusting KL Rahul's leadership. His experience will be crucial in high pressure situations.
There's a couple of all-rounders of international pedigree.
Yeah.
And they might be going through form swings. But Marcus Stoinis is an all-rounder of international pedigree. Mohammad Nabi is an all-rounder of international pedigree. One half of their game isn't being used at all. And I don't know how it is with all-rounders. If one half of your game is not being used, are you under pressure to deliver in your other half? If you're constantly having bowling and batting, does that almost take the pressure of one of the two?
The only facet of Nabi's game is catching at the moment.
I know.
That's the only bit that's being used.
Right, lots being talked about Lucknow and what they need to do, what KL Rahul needs to do. I'm sure all of you are full of pieces of advice as well. So if you do have them, whether they are quirky, funny, witty, insightful, lots of technical gyan, we are very democratic. Remember, elections have started today in India, so we're happy to welcome your views. Send them to us with hashtag coolest advice to win big, and make sure you tag Crompton India on X as well as on Instagram. Now, what's happened in the toss? I'm on the Cricbuzz app. Lucknow have won the toss and chosen to bowl first. One change. Kiwi has come in. It's something that Gilly spoke about. He sensed that there may be a possibility of Henry coming in, and he has. And who in India can forget what Matt Henry has done to India in the 2019 World Cup?
No, that didn't happen.
Oh, it didn't happen.
Actually, the story of the number of World Cups that didn't happen is getting bigger and bigger. So we don't talk about 2020.
There's one that happened here, wasn't there? That was a good
day. So that is why we keep going back to 2011. There's 2 generations since, but yeah.
But Matt Henry, good call. Good call.
Yeah, I think...
For Shamar, that is.
To be brutally honest, I would have loved to have seen Shamar Joseph again. I think, it was encouraging. He was expensive. It was eventful. It was energetic. It seemed impactful for a moment, but he sort of overstepped by the, to coin a phrase from Ian Smith, the barest of margins. And, so that would have been nice, but it's not. So they've made a decision. I suspect it's to do with the new ball. I think Naveen's probably more effective later on, and they want to make some impact early. He's a genuine new ball bowler. Had success in England in franchise cricket, I think, did he, with Somerset?
Yeah.
So, it's a good opportunity for him, and he gets first use out there on a wicket that I believe it's the red dirt wicket. So whether it's going to zing through or hold a fraction.
It's a bit of a 1KD-like wicket is what Cricbuzz says.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so... an opportunity for Matt Henry, and then that still allows the other overseas, the 3 batting overseas.
They lost their last 2 games defending, so is that playing on LSG's mind? And is that why they decided to get Henry in?
It needn't, because they're defending again.
Yeah.
So it needn't. But the only thing I'll say is at the end of the year, when you look at number of matches won by the team batting first versus the number of matches won by the team batting second, it's amazing how often... at the end of the season, more matches have been won by the team batting first.
Yeah.
Same thing happened last year. You win the toss, you field. It was 40-33 last year. 40 games won batting first, 33 batting second. Sometimes in India, as you go into the second half of the season, the tracks start to get a little more tired. If there's no dew, you bat first, the track starts to slow down. But it's amazing how often teams batting first are winning.
Yeah.
And you saw yesterday too, just as well, they went and made that 192. But the jitters, you could almost, there were so many jitters yesterday, everyone was shaking.
But I think this ground is
chasing.
A chasing ground.
No, I'm asking. I don't know.
No, I think it is.
It's a batting first ground?
I think it was about first statistically win-loss.
Chennai. Let's talk about Chennai then. They normally don't make too many changes, but they've made 2. Moeen Ali has come in, and so has Chahar. So out go Shardul, I think, and who else has gone out?
Daryl Mitchell.
Daryl Mitchell goes out. So maybe conditions, Harsha? This is the batting first 11 though.
It could be, because it's not that because Moeen Ali is a left-hander, because there's left-handers strewn all over. If you look at that team, Rachin Ravindra, Moeen Ali, Shivam Dubey, Ravindra Jadeja, no team's got 4 left-handers in the top 6. So that couldn't be a reason. It could be maybe they've seen the surface and they think they might want to use Moeen Ali's bowling in there. So that could be the reason. Or it could just be that Mitchell hasn't quite looked in prime form, hasn't fired. So let's look at Moeen. And Moeen's been part of World Cup IPL winning teams for them.
And you've got
Jadeja.
Yeah, no, but thinking from a batting point of view, Moeen Ali, left-hander, against
Krunal Pandya, Ravi Bishnoi.
Bishnoi.
The Bishnoi takes it away more than he brings in, but even then.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, the return of Deepak Chahar. He didn't play the last 2 games. What does that tell you about how Chennai are thinking?
I'm not sure, actually. I can't say with any authority why they've made that decision. I think the all-round bowling unit was pretty impressive against Mumbai. They all sort of chipped in at the right time, and it was a real collective effort. So, I can make something up, but
unless they just say Deepak Chahar is in our first 11. Always, he wasn't available, so someone else filled in. Yeah. Now he's available, he comes back in.
Comes straight back in, yeah.
And they like the fact that he gives you 3 up front. A bowler who gives you 3 up front is so crucial to your side. Yeah. Assuming, of course, you've got enough strength at the back.
Yeah. Now, it's been 20 minutes and we haven't even mentioned the youngest player in this matchup. The 16-year-old wicketkeeper batter who comes in, makes a cameo appearance, makes everybody happy, goes back home. He's a bit like Santa Claus. Comes once a year, gives you gifts. MS Dhoni. He's been hitting those big sixes.
What is a cameo? It's an interesting one. It's a word we use a lot. A cameo is a small part that you play in a movie, right?
Yeah.
How small is small? Because there's one that's a 2-ball innings and one that's a 3-ball innings. So it's really just... He was in the crowd.
It's recency bias, Harsha. Recency bias. 20 or 4 in that last game.
See, that was the innings that made a difference to the game.
Yep.
The 37 of 16 was... I mean, the game was long gone. He came in and had fun. But he showed us that at this level, he can still clear the boundary almost at will.
Yep.
But that 20 or 4 was the difference between the 2 teams. And, I mean, can you imagine? There's 3 balls, 4 balls left, and you can still create the impact to win a game.
Gilly, you've hit a lot of sixes in your life. Is it brute force power? Is it muscle memory? Is it experience? Or is it this mind that doesn't have a care, doesn't have a worry in the world, so he's able to just go and express himself?
He said express himself.
Himself.
He said express himself.
He certainly is doing that. Muscle memory. Harsha made the point that he looks like he's just bulked up a little bit. So maybe he spends that sort of 10 months away from the game just in the weights room, knowing that he's not playing the amount of cricket and his role is... year on year, it's just become more and more incremental, and now we're dealing in units of Dhoni, aren't we? That's what GK named it. 4 balls, 20 runs is 1 Dhoni. Yeah. So that's all it's going to be, those tiny little how small or how big is a cameo. Muscle memory, yes. From personal experience, it got harder year on year when I wasn't playing in between the IPL seasons. But the thing is with MS... certainly from a keeping point of view, he never really trained a lot with his wicket keeping. Barely did it, if at all. He'd bowl more than he caught. Batting, I think he loved to hit balls, but I don't think a lot of his batting was about technique. It was just feel. It looked like my observation. Standing and watching him in the nets as an opponent, you'd see him. It was just about flow and rhythm and just getting that. So I suspect he's probably hits more balls coming into the tournament than what a lot of people know and pay credit to. Yeah. So don't think that the first game when he walks out to bat, that the 37 off 16 is his first hit since last year's final. I can't remember if he batted in the final, but So I think he's doing a bit more than what we think, but no doubt about it, he's a true testament of know your game. So you see what he's doing, and I stopped and I thought, gee, did I overcomplicate? Did I need to do the training I did? But I remember I did need to. That was me. Mike Hussey had to hit 1,000. Justin Langer, there was not enough bowling in the world to satisfy his appetite. Whereas Matthew Hayden went through phases and didn't quite need as much, and MS Dhoni may not have needed as much. Other players, so know your game. Be true to it.
Now, the one thing that hasn't happened this year is something that we look forward to after every Chennai game last year, which is to see Harsha talk to MS. MS isn't captain anymore. Unfortunately, those conversations haven't happened. Harsha, if you had a chance to ask MS a question that you wanted to, which hasn't happened this year, what would you ask him?
There's only one question you always ask
Another
him.
year?
The question everyone wants to ask.
Another year?
Another year? Another year? I've been asking him that for 3 years. And it's amazing how the crowd responds to a presentation. Yeah. It's a presentation. All you're saying is another year. So 1 year I said, you can be very proud of the legacy you left behind. They've come back, they've won. And he said, but I haven't left behind yet. And then last year, he got so emotional last year, and he said, no, I had tears in my eyes, and I was walking around, and I owe this crowd one more year. So I think the reason he's coming out to bat with his 3 balls left is I think he's enjoying it, number one, but also I think he's allowing the crowds to enjoy seeing him come out. But he's
Marinate
human. Don't forget, he's human. He's human. Yeah. For whatever the tough exterior, that whatever, inside you cannot not enjoy what the crowd is doing.
Yeah, he's India's Main Pal Do Pal Ka Shayar. But you know what? He comes into bat a touch too late. Now, for him to come into bat, there's one LSG bowler that has to do better than he has this year so far. Ravi Bishnoi has looked a bit lost. He was at number 1 in the ICC T20 international rankings last year. Now, these are his numbers, Gilly, this year. What's going wrong with Bishnoi? Is he, once again, overthinking it? Perhaps bowling a touch too flat? Is it becoming too predictable?
Yeah, only bowled his full 4 overs a couple of times in 6 games.
Yep.
But I thought about that, wondered, are they using him differently? Look where he bowled. I mean, there was a game in, I think, Bangalore where he went at 11 and over for 3 overs. So that's probably why he didn't get that last over, whereas the others were sort of getting the job done. Another game where someone chased and he didn't get the opportunity to bowl his full complement. But I think, Bangalore, I think they opened with the other 2 spinners.
Yep.
Didn't they? Siddharth and
they opened with
Pandya, Krunal.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, that means he's going to be bowling later down the order. So I don't read anything too much into it other than just a little bit of conditions, assessing conditions. KL saying, well, it just doesn't feel right at the moment. But yeah, he's what I love about him is his effervescence, his bounce, his energy. He just looks like he's still there and still present. He's not deterred by not running through a team and getting results. And I think we'll see positive things from him. I like his attitude.
Yeah, 2 in 1
He's
for
got
you.
4 wickets. He's got 4 wickets only. You want more wickets from your lead spinner. But this is an IPL that's going at 9.2, 9.3 and over.
Yeah.
And he's going at 7.8 and over.
Yeah.
So on that count, he's still doing okay.
Where is he on the pecking order for you for the World Cup? Is he in the reckoning?
He has to be. He has to be, given that every time he's played for India, he's done okay.
Yep.
But I think if Jadeja has to play and you're looking at Kuldeep, you're looking at Chahal, you're looking at Bishnoi, I think he's in that competition.
Yeah.
Should they look to bowl him in the power play? Because he does it for India. Is that something that will maybe up his energy a little bit? Another challenge to bowl at Ruturaj Gaikwad?
I don't know. I think, my view, the captain knows the conditions best. And
Shivam Dubey as well.
Again, it's a bit of sort of like throwing darts at a dartboard, this far away, not seeing the conditions. It certainly shouldn't be ruled out, I don't think. And he's going to have a job against, as we say, we know everyone's sort of staying away from bowling spin to Dubey. They're going to, he's going to have, if he bats for any length of time, he's going to have to face spin tonight because they've got at least 2 frontline spinners there. It'll be an interesting matchup. But
I'm imagining if I was a spinner, do I want to bowl to Dubey or do I not want to bowl to Dubey? Suppose there's a matchup for you against a bowler who's got you out 3 times. Do you not want to face him, or do you want to say, I need to correct that? I want to face him. So I don't know what his mindset is. Does he want to bowl? I'd imagine he'd say, of course I want to bowl, because if I get him out,
you're a giant slayer then, aren't you? Yeah.
I suppose it also depends on how much the captain allows the analyst to have a certain influence.
Also, how much he's going after the captain saying, I want to bowl here.
Yes. Now, impact subs. What have we got on those 5 list? Let's take a look. Chennai have made 2 changes. Chennai are batting first. So, who are their options when they come into bowl in the second innings? Lucknow have brought in Matt Henry today. Those are their options. So, when they bowl in the second innings, Shardul Thakur, Mitchell Santner. So
here's something interesting. They've got Rachin Ravindra as well to bowl spin. So if it really is that kind, they don't need Mitch Santner. Chennai are batting first, so they want a bowler, don't they?
Yeah, they'll need a bowler.
So and there are 4 foreign players in their 11 anyway.
Yeah, so there's only 2 bowlers in that. Nishant Sindhu is an all-rounder, left-arm spinner, but is an all-rounder.
Yeah.
And Shardul Thakur. So they might look at one of those.
Yeah.
Unless they want to use Samir Rizvi as a batter. They say we've got enough bowling already in our side.
Yeah.
So we'll just use Samir Rizvi as a batting sub and take, if Rahan is Calf is still giving a bit of trouble. Let him bat, go out, and I'll put Samir Rizvi in. So those are the options they have.
Okay.
LSG options. Arshin Kulkarni is one of them, and so is Krishnappa Gautam. Remember, LSG won the toss and chose to bowl first. These are their options when they come in.
Yeah, so who's there? They're bowling first.
Bowling first.
Yeah,
so they
bowling
need
first. So when they
probably
Arshin Kulkarni, batting all-rounder.
Yeah,
a young opener, is he?
yeah, Arshin Kulkarni, under-19, from the under-19 World Cup.
Or maybe Krishnappa Gautam, since they are chasing, just to beef up the lower order a little bit.
It could be. I mean, they've got 6 bowlers, so they'll probably just send in a young kid and say, go for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume that too, if he's the main batting option there. But he obviously won't be able to open if that's his trade. But a youngster,
Okay.
get him in there and getting some experience.
For all they might look at it and say, okay, if we are 16 overs gone, 15 overs gone, then maybe we'll send out Krishnappa Gautam to just go and have a hit. But if you want to do, so they might do that. Yeah.
Right, Matt Henry has opened the bowling. Ajinkya Rahane has opened the batting
Once
with
again.
Rachin Ravindra. So no Ruturaj Gaikwad. Very quickly, let's take a look at Joy Factor for the day. And you'll have about 3 hours to crack it and send us your entries. What's the question from Joy? This cricketer made his first-class debut, age 27, and on his international debut at 34, dismissed Rohit Sharma off his 5th ball. Identify him.
Okay.
Eerie silence in the studio.
34.
Has to be an Aussie? Aussie's debut late?
On his debut, but does it say test debut?
International
debut.
So it could be in a T20 game. It could be in an ODI game.
Okay, we've got 3 hours to crack it. Very quickly, gentlemen, predictions.
CSK, you go. I jumped in first a few times and kept getting it wrong, so I hope I get a lead from you.
By the way, yesterday I got it right.
Oh, did you?
Call her up. Call her up, sir. Call her up.
No. I'm going sort of 189.
I had mine already picked out in my hotel room this afternoon.
Was that 189 too?
No, it was 184.
Okay, there you go.
I'll stay at that.
Close.
Okay, I'll go 199. Thala for a reason.
There we go.
Let's do it for Thala. Okay, that's it for now. Make sure you join us at the halfway mark on Cricbuzz Live with these 2 jukeboxes. I'll press the right buttons. Bye-bye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad को 50 एक्सप्रेस पौरबती स्टेशन नेताजी भवन कृपया ध्यान दें